everybody for joining. So the GIS office has set up a web map containing the law, fire, EMS, and PSAP boundaries that we have collected over the past year or two through city limits and through meeting with various county officials and city officials to try to get those boundaries squared away so that they can be uploaded into the NG 911 system that we are currently building. So we've put together a web map that we're going to share with you all that has all those boundaries on there. We're going to show you how to use it and kind of what we're looking for at this point in time. So there's a link in the chat, and if you want to go ahead to that link and let us know if you have any troubles getting to the web map. So while you're doing that, I'll kind of go over what we're looking for with this particular map. In the short term, we want you to go in and look at the map, look at the boundaries, and see if they're okay, see if they're good, and if they're not, you'll be able to draw in any corrections that you feel are necessary. And then we'll make those corrections, and then this map will still be online and live, and we will make changes to it as we need to. Long term, we want this map to be where you're going to go if there is a boundary change. It's mostly referring to fire because for the most part, those are the ones that we really don't have anything analogous to. As far as like for law, we can use city limits for the most part. But fire is really the one that kind of has the issues where kind of keeping everybody in the loop as to those changes. So long term, if there are changes in your fire districts, do this. You could either come into this map and draw the changes in, and then we'll apply them to the statewide boundary layer, or you can send us a shapefile and we'll implement those into the statewide boundary layer. So most of it's going to be pretty self-explanatory as far as how to use it. You'll be able to pan, click and drag to pan. You can use your mouse wheel to zoom in and zoom out. You'll see the boundaries in the legend here. We've got fire stations, EMS stations, the EMS boundary, the law enforcement boundary, fire service boundary, and then the PSAP boundary. So we also have loaded into this map address and road layer that we maintain, the statewide address and road layers that we maintain. So as we zoom in, those will start appearing. Now, since we're with all these boundaries on here, it can be kind of cluttered. So you can go in and turn some of these layers off. Like if you're only dealing with fire boundaries and that's all you want to see, you can go over here to the content here and change and turn off your EMS and your law enforcement and your PSAP so that you're just seeing the fire boundary layers. Okay. I do want to point out as you zoom in, so the data that's being loaded is coming off our server. And so sometimes when you get zoomed into a point, some of that stuff won't load, or it won't load completely. You'll see an icon down here, which I'm not seeing now, but should be there. If it's not loading everything that it needs to load, like if it's not loaded, if there's a road or an address that's supposed to be there that you're not seeing, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily missing from the data. It just could be that it's not being drawn. Okay. So just kind of keep that in mind. I mean, if there's something that we're missing, we want to know about it, but we don't necessarily want to be flooded with emails about things that we could potentially be missing in the data. So now, as far as making the changes, you have two layers here that you can edit. The boundaries and the center lines and the structures, those are not editable. The really only two layers that you can edit are going to be the comment line and the comment point. So the comment point is for if you have new stations or there's a station being closed down. Okay, you would need to go in and start to edit. Come up here to edit. You would click on the point, and then you can add a point. So what we're looking for here is a comment, new station being closed down. We definitely want the address of the station. That's very important. We need to have that. Also, if there is no contact information, this change will not be implemented. So you've got to have your contact information in there so that we know if we have any questions who to go to. So in this particular case, news station, not news station, and POC contact, KC Vanoy, kc.vanoy at Arkansas.gov 6823285. And then if you want to have an attachment, as far as it could be a picture, it could be, I don't know, whatever you want to put in there, anything that you can add is going to be helpful. So, and then of course, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to make a comment real quick. So this would be for both fire stations and ambulance stations.
Yes.
So please make sure to identify if it's a new fire station or new ambulance station, or if it's a removal of fire station or ambulance station, and things like that. Just make sure it's very specific.
Yes, thank you. From here, you would close, or in this case, since I don't want to save it, I'm just going to delete. That's kind of what we're looking for with the point comment. Now, for the lines, like if there is a boundary change that you want to implement, or that has been implemented that you want to share with us, same thing, you'd go up to edit, you click on the line, and then from here, there's no snapping, so you kind of had to hand draw it, but click to start, and then double click to finish, and then the same thing. Comments, for something like this, for a line, since we're doing boundaries, the comments that we're kind of looking for something like this, boundary change. If it's along a road, we definitely need to know if it is, does it match the road? Meaning, does it go down the center of the road, or is it offset to one side or the other? If so, which side? Same thing with a river, if it follows the channel of the river, something like that, we need to know those things as far as to where the boundary is going to go. And then same thing as far as contact information, we need all of that. If it's not in there, this change will not be implemented if there's no contact information. There's also a place for you to put attachments like, whatever type of paperwork was implemented to ensure this boundary change, any type of sign off by the judge that's going to be part of that. We want to keep track of all of that as well, and all that to be provided to us. That's kind of it. I mean, it's pretty simple. I think that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the training. Katie, do you have anything else that we didn't cover?
No, I'm good. I mean, it's kind of, cut and dry. Like Casey said, just reiterate, the more details that you can give, the better, so that we can make sure to get it drawn correctly if there is a change. So
yes.